Only thing that was missing from this movie was at the end when Wonder Woman was giving her big inspirational speech. This is what was missing from it. They should have had this song playing as Diana was giving her inspirational speech. Check it out. I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. You gotta take a look at yourself, man in the mirror. Woo! Make that change. Alright, so I did my spoiler-free review last night for Wonder Woman 1984, and this is going to be a spoiler talk here, so don't worry, I'm not going to go play-by-play about the movie, just pretty much what didn't work for me and what worked for me. Kind of like what I did in my spoiler-free review, but just more in detail. Right off rip. The thing that did not work for me was the tone in the beginning, and I said this in my spoiler-free review, how it started out like Superman 3. Really kind of silly, goofy, slapstick type shit where I'm like, because the first Wonder Woman to me was so epic. Even though it has some humor in there too and some goofy shit sometimes, but for the most part, the first Wonder Woman was serious. It was epic, and I love the first Wonder Woman. This one here went more the camp route. It was more lighthearted. Even the colors were more vibrant and more just, it was just bright. It was a bright, colorful movie. You know what I mean? That didn't work for me. All right, so I'm like, okay, is this the tone of the movie? I hope not, because I'm going to be in for a fucking long-ass 2 hours and 35 minutes. 2 hours and 35 minutes. No. They could have trimmed off a lot of that fat. They could have trimmed off at least maybe, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes of it, 15 minutes of it. Yeah. Now, I didn't talk about him in the spoiler-free video because I feel like I couldn't talk about him without going into spoilers. But Pedro Pascal as Max Lord, I thought he was having fun in the role. You can tell he was really enjoying being the bad guy, playing the villain. He was really cartoonish. He was like a Batman 1966 villain, you know, the my diabolical plan will work. And not to mention, he was the Wishmaster. Have any of you seen the Wishmaster, the horror movie that came out in '97 with the evil genie, where he would grant you a wish, but he would grant it in a fucked up and twisted way, where he gave you a wish, but you paid for it. That's what this was. This whole movie was based off of wishes. Wishes. That did not work for me. I gave this movie a B-, but I'm leaning more towards a C. Because there were some things I really enjoyed about it, but some shit drove me fucking crazy. The whole thing with wishes. Cheetah gets her powers from wishing. She wished on this damn rock that she can be like Diana Prince, and boom, she has powers. She can hop on shit. She has feline abilities. Typically not horror movie, but typically superhero villains, there's a story behind their origin is, okay, there was a lab experiment, or they got struck by lightning, or something bit them. It was always a traumatic thing that happened to them that turned them evil. You know, even Jamie Foxx's Electro had a better origin than that, where he got bit up by a bunch of electric eels, which is still stupid, but at the same time, it explains how he became Electro. You know, got his teeth straightened and everything. She got her powers from wishing. And Steve Trevor, who died in the first movie in a very dramatic fashion, you know, it was an emotional part. You know, it was a big loss in the movie because I love the dynamic between him and Diana. He's brought back by a wish in a different body. My daughter at first was confused. She was like, what's going on here? I said, well, I guess she made a wish and he returned, but he returned in another body where people see him as this other person, but she sees him as Steve, I'm assuming. He was brought back by a wish. This whole movie was about wishes being granted, but then when he would grant your wish, when Max Lord grants your wish, he would take something from you in return. So I guess the whole thing was with this is that, you know, you want these things that you believe that you have to have, but in the process, you lose something really important to you. So with Diana Prince wishing for Steve Trevor to come back, she loses her power, Superman 2 style. And some people compared to Superman 2. They said this is like another version of Superman 2. Wrong. I see the parallels. Okay, the whole thing about losing her powers and falling in love. Okay, that there are some similarities there between this and Superman 2. But the difference is, and this is no diss to Gal Gadot, but she has none of the charm that Christopher Reeve has as playing Superman. I'm sorry. That's just what it is. Christopher Reeve owned that role. So even when he wasn't Superman, when he was Clark Kent, he was still likable. He was funny. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you didn't see Superman, you almost didn't miss him because Clark Kent was still a funny character. You know what I'm saying? Then when Superman did show up, he did his thing. And what also separates Superman 2 from this movie is the fact that General Zod did not play. So yeah, Superman 2 has some goofy stuff in there. It has some slapstick in there because at this point, what's the guy that took over? I want to say Richard Lester. Was that his name? I think his name was Richard Lester. He took over the directing duties from Richard Donner, and he added more comedy to it to make it more comedic. But General Zod grounded the movie. Okay, we had a villain who was not, my diabolical plan that will take over the world. General Zod was like, no, you will kneel before me. When he stepped to the president, all right, that scene right there by itself, when he stepped to the president, it was like, yes, I see you're into worshiping things that fly. Good. Rise before Zod. No, kneel before Zod. Kneeled, you are not the president. One that leads so many couldn't possibly kneel so quickly. Then remember the real president stood up. I'm the one they're protecting. I'm the president. I will kneel before you if it will save lives. It will, starting with your own. Come on. Max Lord can't even hold a fucking match, a candle, nothing to Terrence Stamp as General Zod. Don't you ever compare Wonder Woman 84 to Superman 2. Don't do that shit. But look here. This sounds like a rant. It kind of is, because the more I think about it, this is a movie I really wanted to like. That's why I think I gave it still a somewhat passing grade, because this is a movie that I wanted to like, and in my mind, I did like it. But the more I think about it, the more I talk about it, the more problems that I have with this movie. Now, highlights, the relationship between Diana Prince and Steve Trevor, it still works. Even though he was brought back in a really ridiculous way, a fucking wish. But I liked seeing those two together, and it was an emotional moment where she did have to say goodbye to him. That scene did work for me, where she had to let him go so she can get her powers back and save the world. She had to give up the thing that she loved and to sacrifice for the world. And then that's when, all that stuff popped off, and she ended up giving that long ass fucking monologue where everybody says, you know what? Yes, we are going to do good. We're going to make that change. Man in the mirror. Man, look. Okay, that worked for me. And I did love the chase scene where she went, what was that, Iraq or Iran? It was somewhere in the Middle East where they had that big ass chase scene. And I said it reminded me of Raiders of the Lost Ark when she was under the truck. And I thought about Indiana Jones when he was under the truck and he was able to get out. That scene worked for me. Okay, that was at the point when she was losing her powers, but it was still a kick-ass scene. The wire work threw me off. There was a lot of wire work in this movie. You know what I'm saying? I guess to keep from using CGI, they just did wire work. And I feel like it kind of took a step backwards in my personal opinion. And the fight with Cheetah, to me, did not work. Because first of all, it was too damn dark. And I guess they were trying to hide maybe the CG was kind of off. With Cheetah, they couldn't get the CG right, so they had to make it dark. So they spend all the movie leading up to this moment where she fights Cheetah. All right, who is her arch nemesis, by the way? Just like the Joker is with Batman and, General Zod to Superman or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Green Goblin with Spider-Man, Cheetah and Wonder Woman. And so we're led up to this moment where they fight and it's dark. You can barely see it. You can't make out really what's going on. The payoff was just, I feel like they wasted the character of Cheetah. Similar to how they wasted Black Manta and Aquaman. Even though Black Manta was cool, he did a lot of cool shit, but I feel like Black Manta should have been more the focus over Ocean Master, but, I guess they had to do that so they can give Aquaman the kingdom or whatever. But anyways, yeah, and I did criticize Gal Gadot's performance, and, to me, it just, I don't know, I guess because the movie was so mediocre, because I rewatched the first one after I watched this one, and I think her performance in the first one was a lot better because I think it matched her acting abilities, because in the first movie, it was a whole fish out of water thing, so everything was new to her, it was foreign to her, you know what I mean? And it worked with her acting, she has that thick Israeli accent, you know what I'm saying? And it was cute, it was funny. But this time around, her performance didn't work for me. But she's easy on the eyes. Like, listen, Gal Gadot, look here, look, given the opportunity, I'll give her everything I got. I swear I would. I really want to drop my grade down to a C because it was just too long. It was too many goofy moments. Pedro Pascal, even though with what he was given to do, I thought he did the best that he could. But it was just too over the top, too silly, there was at no point where I felt like he was a threat. Even though he had this amazing power where he could have people wish for shit, but then he would take from them what he wanted, I still didn't feel threatened by him. There was no threat like this compared to a General Zod who wanted world domination. But he was serious. Like, Terrence Stamp commanded the screen as General Zod. Pedro Pascal was on that, I want $1 million. Did it? He was on that shit. Nah. And the whole message in the movie, I thought the message was a little heavy-handed. I guess the whole thing of, what good is it to gain the world and lose your soul and the truth and be... Listen, y'all. I can see some people really loving this movie. Some people really did love this movie. My boy Perez kind of got on me a little bit because he was, he really dug the movie. And look, if you dig the movie, man, that's all good. You know what I'm saying? Like, all this shit is subjective, man. It didn't work for me all the way. I'm not going to rush to see this again, but damn. And I read somebody did say that, I read this on Facebook, man, the internet's undefeated. Somebody did say that Wonder Woman 84 is the last Jedi of the DC universe. Damn. Somewhat of an accurate statement because fans were so divided by Last Jedi, and I feel like with this one, fans really divided by this movie. Some people really didn't like it. Some people really did dig it. I fall in that category of it was aight. I'm gonna keep saying that. It was aight. Yeah, that's all I got, y'all. So thanks for watching. I went for a long time. I'm sorry, y'all. I hope some of y'all ain't check out. But yeah, comment below what you thought about this movie. If you like and did the content, hit that like and subscribe. Notification bell in the corner. This is Rashad G signing out. See you in the next video.